or test.
All right, that was very good, Iris. Thank you. Next up is Swam.
Yes, looking at idioms, sadly, not all websites are friendly. Some websites are selling materials about idiom for phrasal expressions. Other websites are offering free downloads but have viruses embedded. Beware. Here are a few websites that are safe and have provided quality materials through the years for learning English idioms.
Okay, so remember, this particular website, which is an unusual website, but here it is. I'm going to put it in the chat. There is a very nice book, if you want to call it that, but you don't have to download it. You can just look at it. It's called In the Loop, a reference guide to commonly used American English idioms. And each one, which the reason I encourage you to use this one is because it doesn't just have the idiom. It has the origin, and then it has a few similar. This is actually where I got my setup, meaning origin, related sayings, use in a sentence. This is where I got that set up. Because as I was reading through this guide, I found just a lot of really valuable information, but it also spurred me to go look for more information. I believe there's maybe 1,000 idioms in this one. Okay, very good, and an unusual website. So just to give you a little reason why some of these websites have idioms. Number one, in the state of Iowa, which is where this is from, Iowa courts in the state of Iowa, they have a lot of migrant workers. And so, of course, they're concerned that the workers are assimilating the language. And again, idioms and getting that idiom, grouped down is important for learning the language. All right, next up. This one is, I'll put that in the chat. Okay. This is an interesting one because it has articles about pieces that are in the museum that relate and have idioms associated with them. I think, Sarah, you're up next. Go ahead and read this one.
Yes, teacher. Exploring the origins of idioms, Henry Folk Museum has an interesting article about the origins of certain idioms that relate to items that are in that museum. The origins of idioms may have historical significance, or the idiom may be an observation or an association, such as mad as a hatter. The first who made talk has used a substance that was absorbed into their skin, causing their minds to go a bit crazy or mad. The association was proven true in later years. The handling mercury made the hatters mad. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So this particular website has some interesting articles or interesting pieces about origins of the pieces in the museum. Okay, now we're going to go, and I know you're probably sick of seeing this website, but I have to tell you, the more I get into this website, the more I recognize how really deep this website is. This is the home page. So I'm gonna copy that and put it in, hold on a second. Where are we here? Okay, chat. This is, now, there's a couple of things here. One is that the Voice of America, VOA, you can get it as an app. And of course, it's free. This is from, and is supported by, I believe it's the American, I want to say it's the State Department, but I could be wrong on that. This is their homepage for teaching English. Okay, why are we concerned about that? We're concerned about that, first of all, because in order to be successful in America, and we want everyone who's living in America to be successful and happy here. So this is information making English more available to everyone. So there are every single day, there are news reports, okay? Every single day, this website changes in some way, okay? Here is the English in a Minute that I use all the time. Here is grammar. They have a grammar section. The downside about this website is that it's hard to search. So you'll need to go to Google. If you want to search this website, I put in whatever the idiom is that I'm concerned or looking for. I put the idiom, comma, learning English, comma, English in a Minute. Or if I'm looking for information from the everyday grammar, the sentence or the phrase that I'm concerned about, everyday grammar. And as you go down, they have different stories about words, the specific words. News literacy, this is retelling of the news of today. And then there are tests so that you can actually test yourself. If you're getting ready to do the TOEFL test, this is one of the resources that you can go to and use to test yourself, okay? And then the citizen test, the citizenship testing. So that's one of my favorite websites. Not only are there my bits about idioms, but there are also learning English classes on here. And some of them actually have the different language to begin with, and then translated to English. So there's also a section in here on Spanish and so on. Okay, let's go back. Let's see, the next person that was up was Salome. Go ahead and read that again. Read about the Voice of America.
If hearing the idiom used and watching a short video will help you, here is a site that may be of help. Voice of America has contents that is being added daily. Learning English, the view in news.com is the home page. As you move down the opening page, you will find sections on news, but more importantly, English in a Minute, pronunciation tips, and Ask a Teacher sections.
So this section right here, the Ask a Teacher section, you can actually write in questions and ask about, here are questions that I have about. Now, this is a new one. This is a new resource that I have never found before. Okay, this was brand new. I just found this. remember I told you that there's a bunch, like enormous amounts of idioms. And it's hard to keep up with all of the different idioms. So that first guide that I showed you, the In the Loop guide, has something like 1,000. This dictionary says it has over 24,000 phrases and expressions. This is searchable by alphabetical order using the verb. This is a book that's in my library, and it's about 2 inches thick. Okay, so it's a big old thick book. This has over 1,000 pages. So if you're really getting into idioms, and this is something that's really making you happy, and you're excited about exploring those things, this dictionary is mounted on the Santa Ana Unified School District. And I got right in with this link right here. And I don't know if I just did it. Yes, I guess I did, but I'll do it again. I want everybody to have access to that. I'm just really pumped about this dictionary. I was so surprised to find it. I cannot even tell you. Okay, the next one. This is the app I was telling you about last week. So this you can actually download as an app. Okay, number one. Number two, you can also download Voice of America as an app on your smartphone. Okay, let's see. Theta, would you like to just read this short description?
Yes. Idiom app has short definition and short videos about the idioms. Downside, the video do not talk to you. So if there is troublesome word, you do not hear it spoken out as an English in a minute.
So that is the only downside I can see with this particular dictionary. I'm trying to remember if let's see, we can definitely go there. Hold on. Because the good news is with this particular one, so here's the top line, dictionary, thesaurus, which is going to tell you the other phrases similar to the phrase that we were talking about. Now, here's of interest, a medical dictionary, a legal dictionary, a financial dictionary. So if you're studying accounting, for example, and you're wondering about, oh, what does this phrase mean in English? It's there. Acronyms, so things that we commonly use. Commonly, you'll hear people in America do things like do that ASAP. Does anybody know what that means? ASAP. Who does? Ying?
As soon as possible.
Very good. Exactly. But that's going to be in acronyms. Okay, so if you're wondering, oh my goodness, what does that acronym mean? You would find that in that section. Idioms, that's the section I use the most. Interesting encyclopedia. So those are sections here. Now, like I said, uniquely to this particular website, there's no words. So you can see that if you go to that website, you'll see an idiom of the day, It's going to write, it's going to give you the meanings and so on, but you're not going to get a lot more than what I just showed you. Okay. Now let's go into, I guess we'll have as many as we're going to have today, baseball idioms. Kine, would you like to read this one today? Theda, you want to jump in on that? How about I'll go back to Sarah. Sarah, would you like to read this one?
Do you tell me? Can I read?
Can you see the screen again? Baseball idioms.
Okay, baseball idioms. Baseball has been a widely popular sport. In the past, baseball games were broadcast over the radio. The baseball announcer got across the fast-moving action on the field by utilizing shortcut phrases. These shortcut phrases, idioms developed over time to convey the complex plays happening during the baseball game. Families would listen to the games as they were broadcast over the radio. Following the game, there would be much discussion at work, at the paper shop, and at the coffee shop. The discussion at the colorful phrases the announcers used would be repeated over and over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sarah. So we've talked about this before, and I want to make sure that all the new folks have heard that, because that's one of the reasons why there are hundreds of baseball idioms, phrases, expressions that we've used. Okay, so now here's a little test for you. Go ahead and get out your paper and pen, pencil, what have you, and match up, because they're not in order, match up the idioms that we've reviewed before. These are idioms we reviewed several weeks ago, maybe as long as a month or 6 weeks ago. But we've talked about these several times. Okay. So I'm giving you a little test. These are very simple baseball idioms. I'll give you a few minutes for that. Okay, when you're done, when you've finished your matching, raise your hand and then we'll go on from here. Okay, is anyone finished? Anybody done? All right, I am going to say, let's go on. So we'll go on to the answers. And so the first one, drop the ball. So do you remember we did English in a minute? I'll go back and we'll review that again. In a game where we are throwing the ball to get somebody out, somebody who drops the ball has made a big mistake. Okay, who would like to read the next three? Theta, would you like to read the next three?
Yes. Charlie Horse, painful cramp in the back of the leg, hit a
Okay.
home run, very successful performance, hit or miss, happen, happen,
Hazard.
haphazard, haphazard, erratic performance. I get it
Okay.
all right.
So the hit or miss, haphazard or erratic performance is a person you can't necessarily depend on to deliver the same thing every day. If you go to a bakery and you're buying a cookie or a biscuit or a scone or a cupcake, you go to that bakery because the cookie is the same every day. The biscuit is the same every day. The scone is the same every day. They don't have an erratic performance, right? It's not hit or miss. It's the same every day. So, okay, so now here's an interesting thing. So see this hit a home run here, a very successful performance. Okay. There are other phrases that we're going to talk about in a couple of slides that also talk about a very successful performance, so that when you give a really great or have a really great performance, a really awesome score on a test, a great project, you hand in a paper that's amazing, your teacher, your professor may say these kind of things to you. Wow, you hit a home run. It kind of gives you the idea that that professor might really like baseball. Okay, but those are good, those are nice compliments to get or to give. Who would like to read the next three? Swam, would you like to read the next three?
Sure, teacher. Keep your eye on the board. Do you watch the progress carefully? Covering all the bases, take precautions to plan for changes. That came out of left field, G, and related to the current conversation.
So let's review. That came out of left field. So remember the story. Does anybody remember that story? That came out of left field. In one of the baseball stadiums, the left field was really close to a mental health hospital. And sometimes they would hear, because they didn't have air conditioning, the windows were not closed, they would hear sometimes dramatic statements, screaming, yelling, what have you, that would just